Okay, good evening, everyone. How are you doing today? Good evening, online. Online, good evening. Okay, let me check. Okay, now I have enabled that. Good evening. Okay, so hope everyone are doing good. Yeah. So what did we discuss in our last class? Providers. Okay. Yeah, Dinesh, correct. So tell me what else we have discussed yesterday. You have done the practicals? What are the things that we have done? Different types of providers for GitHub, Docker, okay. And then Terraformer we have done. Modules. Did you complete it? Modules and that project I have given, right? 3 tier project completed, huh? Done, huh? Oh. Oh. Yeah. No. How about you online? Did you completed the project? In progress, huh? Okay, no problem. So that was a little bit bigger project. So please take your time and do it. It's very important. Okay. So today, let's go with the few Chuma topics, leftover topics in Terraform. So we start with something called provisioners. What is that? We have mainly 3 types of provisioners are there. What is that? 3 types of provisioners. Online, put it in the chat, Nana. What are the topic here? Provisioners. So provisioners meaning here, there are mainly 3 types. We call it as local exe, say that, remote exe, and then file. Say that what are the 3 provisioners here? Local exe, remote exe, and then file. So local exe meaning this Terraform will help you to perform the actions locally on the machine. Not in AWS, not in anywhere. Locally on the machine. If you want to create a file, so local exe will help you to create a file locally. Remote exec meaning it will help you to run the commands on the remote machines. Like inside EC2 instance, if you want to run anything, like similarly like how we have user data, similarly here also remote exec will local exec here execute a command locally on the machine where the Terraform is running. So if you want useful for running scripts or commands that need to be executed locally. So if you want to locally execute things, then you can go for local exec. So if you want to execute on the EC2 instance after it has been created, then we can use which one here? Remote exe. Remote exe is nothing but generally we log into the EC2 instance, right? We'll tell Terraform to log into the machine and run the commands. Let's say you have user data. So can I pass the user data in the file and then ask Terraform to go inside the machine and then run the file? Yes. So if you want to do all the execution remotely on the EC2 instance, what the provisioner that you should use? Remote exe. So last one here is file. We'll not be using that much, but uploads file from local machine to the, it is good, sorry. Upload files from the local machine to remote machine. So file concept, you will be using it if you have the any file like user data and you want to upload that to the EC2 instance. So this file will help you to upload. We did this already in the project. One VPC, two subnets, front end project in Terraform we did or not? So we pass the user data one, user data two script. So there we have used the file. So today we'll go and learn this local exec, remote exec, and then file. Is this clear, provisioner? Online, you got it? So it is very simple. Online, clear? Okay. Let's go and write what? Main.tf. So inside this, as I want to run it locally here, I don't need to write any providers here. So here directly what we do, of course, you can write the providers. We go in and then launching the EC2 instance here, AWS underscore instance. Let's say, for example, here, example. Okay. So now, what are things we need to provide? AMI, instance underscore type, which one? T2 micro. And here we will add the provisioner. What we add? Provisioner. What is that here? Provisioner. What is the provisioner that I'm taking here? Local exec. We can use no problem. I already initiated, so you can write no problem. Provider, because I already used this machine, right? I already initiated. Okay. Okay. So provisioner local exe. Okay. I want to create a file locally on this machine, and it should contain the instance ID inside that file. So for that, what we need to use, we'll write a, what is the argument here? Command. So command will be used in order to execute any Linux commands. So here I'm writing what here? Echo. Say that. Echo. What you are printing here? Instance ID you are printing it. And then dollar self.id. What I'm using here? Self.id will print it. Okay. And then I want to create one txt file which has the instance ID inside it. Can you please see that command and try to digest it? You understood? So what is doing? So I'm using a provisioner called here local exe. That means it is trying to create one file. So here self.id meaning it will create whatever the EC2 instance that it is creating within the EC2. Within this block, we are calling that self.id. Okay. So let us see, let us run what it does. First, what you need to Terraform init. Let's wait. Self.id meaning EC2 instance ID only. Dinesh. So guys, local.exe Terraform validate. Okay. So if I do Terraform plan, what will print? It will print the instance ID and also it will create a txt file or not? Should I go and run and then try it out? See here. So if I do Terraform, which one? Apply, auto, approve. Acha, image ID I need to put. So it is launching the EC2 instance and also it is creating a file locally. So if you want to do anything locally, then you can use which provisioner? Local exe file. And do you see this? If I do ls, so do you see this instance id.txt file? So here, what does that contain? Cat instance.txt. What does it contain? It contains the instance ID. So when do you use this local.exe? So local-exe. If you want to run any commands on the local machine, so you can use this local-exe. Clear? What is the use with this file? Nothing. I'm just giving the example to create. I'm giving the example, Somalika, here. Not only this, anything that you want to run on the local machine, you can use local-exe. For example, I'm creating a file here. Yes or no? There is nothing to use it, but it's just an example that how to give local-exe here. So similarly, what we have here, remote-exe. So remote-exe will help you to log into the EC2 instances and then run the commands. Yes, Dinesh, it will give this instance ID. So, okay. You want me to do that? So let me go ahead and then destroy it. So the next example, what I want to do is we will connect remotely to the another EC2 instance. If you want to connect to remotely to the another EC2 instance, what we need to have? Local exe, local provider are doing the same work. Local exe will execute the commands in the local machine, Sumalika. Okay. So guys, here, if we want to connect to the remote machine, what do we need? We need to have a PEM file or not? Without PEM file, can you connect to the machine? No, right? So here, what I want you to do is using remote-exe provisioner, I want to run few commands on the remote machine. Let's say, let's install HTTPD. Which one? Let's install Apache and then run it through Terraform only. Generally, you tell me Terraform will help you to create the infrastructure. But if you want to run some commands inside that EC2 instance that it has created, so then you need to use which provisioner? Remote-exe. What's that? Remote-exe. Understood? So we write it for this. So for that, what we need to, okay, so you're asking something, right? So here Dinesh is asking, sir, instead of self.id, so can we write here, which one? AWS underscore instance dot example dot id. Will this work? Terraform. So should we do it? Terraform, apply hyphen auto. Okay, before that, should I take out this, remove that instance, huh? That file? Okay. Now let's do this. Terraform. Let's see whether it display the instance ID or not. What do you think? It will display or not? Huh? Okay, it's created. Let's do ls. So cat instance dot id. So what I did, I have given the another new thing there. So if you're writing in that block, you can use that self dot. Okay. So if I say just like that, you can use this also. You don't remember it, right? For that reason, I executed and showed it. Okay. Dinesh. Yeah. So let me go ahead and then destroy it. So now let's take an example of which one? Remote exe. So what I need is, let's go and create a resource block where it has AMI, instance type, key name, tag, everything. Provisioner, we use local exe, right? That has whatever the commands that you did inside the provisioner local exe, everything will run on the local machine. But if you do remote-exe, the commands will run on remote servers. Let us go and write that. For that, what? So Terraform need to log into the EC2 instance or not? Terraform need to log into the remote EC2 instance. For that, it needs to have a authentication. For that, what we do is, do you remember we have the ID underscore RSA key? SSH keys. Okay. So what we do is, do you remember SSH keygen we did? SSH keygen, it will create ID underscore RSA private key and public key. So here, yeah. So we will create a public key here. Sorry, private key ID underscore RSA, and we'll put our PEM content there. Yeah, PEM file, no? Inside that PEM file is that private key only, right? So whatever the data that we have there, we will keep it in the ID underscore RSA. So this Terraform will take the help of this key and then log into the remote machine and run the commands. Should we do this now? So let me copy a provider block. So should I remove main.tf and write new one? Main.tf. So block is fine. Okay, let's go and create a resource. Tell me. Resource AWS underscore instance. Huh? What you got tied with Terraform? Huh? Little bit too much, right? We are mostly done, right? These are the last topics we have, right? So, but can you tell me, did you like the AWS or did you like the DevOps? Huh? Let me hear from Sumalika. Nice answer, both. Okay. Dinesh, we like Riaz. Others, everyone, put it your opinions. DevOps is interesting or not? Huh? It's all about commands and code, right? Yeah. రెండు కళ్ళు సార్. Correct. Yes, sir. I join only DevOps, so DevOps is much interesting from other trainer. Okay, good, good. Okay. Uh, Before I write this block, we need to do one thing here. I told you we need to create one ID underscore RSA, right? So let's edit that. Do you remember where is that file? SSH. Do you remember where? Do you see this here? Dot .ssh is there already? Do we have any keys here? Do you have any keys here? No. Using SSH keygen, you can generate the keys here. ID underscore RSA or ID underscore RSA dot pub. But I'm not generating. I'm creating my own key which has a PEM file inside it. So for that, what I need to do? I need to create a file called ID underscore RDS, RSA. ID underscore RSA. So let's go inside it and then copy paste our PEM file. Which one is that? 730. Okay. So we have the key there, ID underscore RSA. So we'll use this key and then we'll ask Terraform to log into the remote servers. Okay. So now let's go into the main.tf. Acha. Is that? Question మీకు ఏది ఇష్టం? So these guys are asking, sir, which one do you like, AWS or DevOps? If I like only one, I could not have teach you or taught you this DevOps like this. So for me, both. Guys, so because see, AWS is a core competency of mine, right? And also we'll use the DevOps on top of it, right? So it is a mix, is a mixture actually, right? Okay, so let's do. I'm waiting for a Bible for interview preparation. I have prepared these many documents for you. Interview questions, resumes, for each and every tool, interview questions are there. Those interview questions is not one, two. Whatever, wherever I found, everything I listed. So uh, in that, um, in that, you might be knowing few questions. You might not be being few, because I have given maximum experience related questions also. So maximum, you know. If you don't know, just read the answers and keep that in mind. Okay. So I'll be sharing that today. No problem. Hmm? Always you will serve that. Yeah. Okay. So let's go and write in the resource block. So what are things that we need here? AMI, remind me. Okay, I'll put the AMI. Next, instance underscore type. What's the instance underscore type here? T2 micro. And then key underscore name. Which key name? 7:30 p.m. batch. I copied that only, right? So next, tags. Next, name is equal to which one? Is you can give something. I can give just EC2 instance. So after these tags, we need to write what here? Provisioner. What do we need to write? Previously, I wrote local.exe. Now I need to write what? Remote hyphen exe. Okay. Inside this, we need to give an argument called inline. That meaning whatever that we are writing should be inside this, in the square brackets. Now let's start run your commands. Tell me, I want to install Apache. What do you need to do? First, what you need to do? Sudo yum. First, I do yum update hyphen y. Next, what I do? Sudo yum install. hyphen y, which one? HTTPD. Next, we need to start the service, no? Sudo systemctl start. You understand? Online. You understand? So in the remote.exec, so we are providing all those. So now after writing this, we need to write the connection, right? So here we have something called connection. In connection, which type it is using? Which protocol it is using? Protocol. Protocol to connect to the EC2 instance. Which SSH? What you're thinking? Not sure. SSH. Okay. Next, what is the user? EC2 hyphen user. And then what is the private underscore key? What's that? Private underscore key. Here I'm using what here? File. So where is your file? Inside your home directory in .ssh. Where? ID underscore rs. rs. Understood? No? And then what is the host name? To which host name they need to log in? Self dot which one? Now understand why I wrote self here. Previously I wrote self there. For that reason I have using inside the self block. So everything I'm writing inside the resource block or not? Everything I'm writing in the resource block. So if you want to call that, you can call using self also, or you can call with the AWS underscore instance dot. You can call that ID also here. Guys, see the code. You understood? So what we are doing here, I'm explaining again. Provided research, AMI also I'll put it. Otherwise. Okay, AMI instance tab is fine. Key name, we have used this tag. And inside this, I have written what? Provisioner. What is that? Provisioner. What is the provisioner I'm using here? Remote hyphen exe. So inline, whatever the commands that you want to run, Linux commands, put it inside it. And then we need to write what block here? Connection block. In connection block, what is the type it is used? SSH. What the user it should use? EC2 hyphen user. And then we need to provide the private key or not? And to which EC2 it needs to log in? Host is equal to self dot public underscore. Is this clear? Online is clear enough. So we have done a lot. So let's do what? Abba. So line 22 in the other example. What did I missed? Expected a comma to mark the beginning of the next item. Acha. I understood. So for that, all these things, what I need to put here? It says comma, comma. On main resource, instead, private argument name private key is not expected. Do you mean? Spelling mistake, huh? In the private. Correct, no? Spelling correct, huh? Where did I give colon now? P is lowercase only. K is capital R. Ah, yeah. Yeah, this is correct. Thank you. Hmm. Wow. Okay. Nice. So what we do now? Terraform. Do I do plan? So what it'll do? It will launch a EC2 instance and it will execute our Apache or not? Yes. Should we go and run it? Uh, Terraform, apply, auto hyphen, approve. See what does it do? It will install everything. That will show here only on the console. Do you see? Remote exe file, those are getting executed. See, now it says connected. Using the key, it got connected, right? Now it will slowly install one by one everything. See, whatever you have given. But actually, we should not do like this because you need to see now installing. We should be using Ansible to do that, right? So, but I'm just showing you there is also a possibility called remote exe to run the commands on the machine using Terraform. Now done. Now done. So here you have your Apache running over there. So if we take EC2 instance, it is still initializing. You see, test page came. Yes or no? Apache. Hmm? Online, is this clear? Remote exe concept? Online, no. Very good. Should I go and destroy it? Let's go and destroy. So now let's go with another one called, what is another one? Tell me, what's another one? Yeah. So let it destroy. File provisioner. Which one is that? Next file. So file provisioner meaning, as it clearly says, we can provide the file. So here I went to the CD temp and then I created remote underscore script.sh. I created sh file. What it has? It has install Apache and it is creating one index.html. Okay. And then what I do? Same code. But here in provisioner, what I'm using here? File. What I'm using here? File. And then source is what? Our remote underscore script.sh. And destination where I'm putting here? Slash temp. Inside this, I'm putting in the destination. And I'm connecting using this. And then, once you went, so this provisioner will help you to put our local file to the remote machine. Guys, this provisioner, file provisioner will help you to put our local file to the remote machine. So this file provisioner will have a capacity to run the script in the remote machine? No. So for that, what we need to have? Remote exe. Again, we use one more provisioner, remote hyphen exe, and then I'm giving the permissions to it, and then I'm running that script. So indirectly, I am hosting a website, a small HTML website on this machine. You understand? I'll explain it again. See. So first one, local.exe is clear. Remote.exe is clear. Next one is what here? File.exe. So file provisioner. For this file provision meaning here, the file provision uploads file from local machine to the remote machine. So in local machine, assume that I have a file called remote script.sh. What does it contain? It contain what? one Apache. It will be installing Apache. It is creating one index.html file. And then what we write, we go and write one main.tf, and then we are launching the EC2 instance, right? And then we need to copy our local file to the remote machine or not. So what is the provisioner for that we need to use? File. So source is this one. And then in destination in the file, I'm copying it to the /temp. So for copying to the remote location, we need to have the connection or not? Yes or no? Without connection, how does it will copy? Yeah. So next, and then here, once it is copied, now you are execute. Now you need to execute that file or not. So how to do that? Using remote exe. So provision remote exe, you are changing the permission for that script and you are executing that remote script. And for that, you need to have the connection. So what it does simply, it will copy the local file to the remote and this one will run the remote file. To copy it from local to remote, we use file. To execute the remote files, we use remote exe. Is this clear? Clear? Online. Suppose 100 EC2 is there. I want to install. No, you should use Ansible for that. Dinesh, using inventory. Don't use Terraform to. That's why I told you. Terraform versus Ansible. Don't compare it. Those two are different. This Terraform will help you to create the infrastructure. It is not meant to deploy the applications. For deploying the applications, you go with what? Ansible. Don't mix it up. But what you need to do, you need to write a script here, Dinesh. So all 100 machines, you write all the IP addresses in text file and then give that text file and write some loop here and it'll go and execute one by one there. But that is not the ideal way to do it. Okay. Online, is this clear, please? This remote, this file provisioner. Okay, do one thing. Look at it for a couple of minutes. Look at it. Try to understand. Let me know online once you are done with it. Exactly, Somalika. So how do we integrate Ansible with Terraform? You can integrate Ansible with Terraform also. However, you want to integrate the tools, you can integrate it. Who is that? Kalyani. So for that, what you need to install? First, you need to install the Ansible on the install Terraform and Ansible on the same machine, and then create a Terraform script to provision the infrastructure like how we are doing it. And then Terraform will launch in EC2 instance, right? And that IP address, you need to put it in one file. How did I put instance ID? Similarly, you need to put instance IP address. So that the text file contains the IP address or not. Now you write a Ansible playbook, keeping that text file as an inventory file. And then run your playbook. That's how you need to integrate, Kalyani. The code is clear. Can you give me CC on this online, please? Done. If you give CC, then only I'll move online. Clear. Nana, please let me know if you want me to explain again. Okay. It's clear up. Okay. So let me know if you want to explain. So for that, what I need to do, Nana, here, should I go and then create one script here? So let's copy this and then remote underscore script dot sh. So let's create it here. Remote underscore script dot sh. So assume that I have this file. I have the file here, this sh file. I want to run this script in my remote EC2 instance. So for that, what we need to do? We need to write a main.tf. Anyways, we have the connection established. ID underscore RSA, we have the PEM file, right? I know to do it again. So simply what I do, I'll remove that main.tf and then create a main.tf. Inside this, simply, guys, can I copy paste it instead of writing? So you take this entire and then paste it out here. I'm explaining this again to you. See, first one is the resource block, AMI, instance type, key name. I need to change the key name, right? Key name to which one? 7:30 p.m. Oops. Batch. Okay. And then tags. What is the name of the EC2 instance? EC2-Apache. Now, inside this, I need to put my local file to the remote machine. So for that, what is the provisioner I'm using here? File provisioner. And then what is the source? Remote underscore script.exe. That's now I created. And now in the destination server, in which location it will put it? In /temp, it is copying it. So provisioner, file provisioner will help you to copy the local file to the remote machine. So next, in order to copy this file, we need to have the connection or not. So I already explained connection type is SSH, user is this, file private key. I already have ID underscore RSA PEM file in it, and host is self.public IP. So it will get connected, and this in this remote underscore script.sh will be copied to the remote server. And it is just copied. Did it execute it? So does the file provisioner will help you to execute? No. For that, what is the provisioner I need to use here? Remote exe. So remote exe, and you need to write inline. Inside that, you are giving the read execute permission here. Chmod plus x, read permission you're giving, remote underscore script.sh, and you're running the file. Once you run the file, to run the file, what we need to have? We need to have a connection. Once you run the file, what will happen? Apache will be installed, and whatever is there in that script.sh, remote underscore script.sh, everything will be executed on the remote machine. Clear now? Super. Okay, so let's do Terraform validate. It is success there. Okay, so what do I do now? No need to sh sir before /tmp. No need. So what we do here? Terraform apply auto hyphen approve. See, it will run the two provisioners now. local file provisioner, and then see the output, guys. Remote-exe is executing or not? Yes. Do you see that? Done. What it does, it has launched an EC2 instance. It has copied our local script file to the remote machine using file provisioner, and using remote-exe provisioner, it has executed also, and it is back also. Hmm? Now, if I take this IP address, I put it here. You see? Welcome to Knowledge IT, AWS infra created using Terraform in which region? Mumbai region. So my website is up or not? Okay, understood? Sumalika, and then you need to write for each, no? Sumalika. Online, clear, Nana? Remote. Online, this is clear. What are the three provisions that we had did? First one is local-exe, remote-exe provisioner, and also file provisioner. Is this clear? Super. So what I do, let's go and destroy this again. Okay. So there are few additional topics I have given for you here. Another example I have given, you can test it. And the thing is here, read it here, dynamic block. Say that. We have done this already. It is used to reduce the length of the block. See here, listen carefully. It is very hard to write everything. And till a certain limit, we can write it. After that, don't try to write it because this is a default code that is available everywhere. You can just use it. Okay. Do you see this here? What is doing? It is a provider. And what it is creating? See, listen carefully. What is creating? Security group. So resource security group. What's the security group name? Example underscore security group. And in that security group, I told you already, we have ingress and egress. Ingress and egress. Ingress meaning inbound rules. Egress meaning outbound rules. So now tell me here, how many inbound rules I'm doing it here? Two. One is SSH, another one is HTTP. And egress, that means outbound rules, by default, all traffic allow. So -1 meaning here, all traffic. Okay. And then what I'm doing, I'm launching the EC2 instance. I'm using what? Security group. And then launching the EC2 instance output. This one you understand, right? Here, this is the, you have the long code. But what we can do is, but instead writing multiple ingress rules, we can use what here? Dynamic block. So how to write it? Listen this. Provider, and I'm using here what? Locals. Remember locals? So in locals, in ingress rules, I'm mentioning here port this one, port this one, port this one. Yeah, Dinesh, good. Guys, the ingress rules, I'm creating a list here. What is the list here? Port 443, port 80, port 8080. How many I have here? 3. So I write everything in locals and a resource block for AWS instance, it will create. In the security group, see here, egress, I wrote everything, keep it. And in dynamic ingress, I'm using what here? For each. Remember, we already done this in meta arguments for each. So for each local dot ingress rules, that meaning here local dot ingress underscore. So it will go to each and every port number or not? And then it will go to each and every port number and it will see from port to port, it will add the value here inside it. So this is what called here dynamic. What's it called?
Dynamic.
Huh? What is the concept? Dynamic block. Online, you understand now here? So instead of writing the huge code, multiple ingress blocks here, simply what I'm doing, I'm just writing everything in a dynamic block. So I create a local block. I wrote the port numbers and simply in that I am here. Which block is this? Dynamic block. I'm writing ingress. I'm using for each and I'm calling each and every value here to insert. Guys, same thing we did it before, but I'm applying this here to the security groups. Is an example. Online, is this clear, please? How are you calling? See here. Okay, for each, what is the block here? Say, see here, locals dot. So I need to use local dot ingress underscore rules. So here for each in dynamic ingress, for each local dot ingress underscore rules. In content meaning in inbound rules, we'll write that port number for everything we write, right? Inside that, you can give the description from port ingress dot value dot port. So here in for each, it will go to this port, right? Value, it's the argument we have here. What here? Port. This port will come and sit over here. Ingress dot inside for each we get a value and the port here. So Malika, clear? Guys, clear? Here. This is the list only. This is 0. This is 1 and this is 2. This is 0, this is 1 and this is 2. So it will go for each. So for each where in that local block, it will go to the list and it will go and get the value. How many lists, how many indexes are there? It will go and print those many values. Okay. Online clear? Guys, remember maps we have done already? Map key value pair. We have done already. I'm just giving one more example here. You can try it out. So next here concept is called data source. Say that. Say that again. Very important topic. What is that here? Data source. So data source meaning if you use this data source block, which it will allow you to fetch information from existing resources. Let's say till now we created the S3 buckets. Till now we used we created a VPC. But did we ever use existing bucket? Did we ever use existing VPC to launch EC2 instance? No, right? So if you want to use the existing resources in your code, then you should use what? Data source. Say that again. Online, put in the chat. What is that here? Data source. Let's say, for example, um, okay. I'll write an example for you. See. Clear? Did I destroy it? Okay, destroyed. So I'll show you one example for which one? Data source. Which one here? Data source. So for that, what we do is, I want, for this example, I want to get the existing VPC, default VPC. I want to get the bucket details. We already have a default VPC or not? So if you want to use the existing resources IDs, what is the block I need to write? Data. What's the block? Data block. Existing resources information, if you want to get it, use the data block. Let me write. For that, first of all, I need to create a bucket or not? Let's create a bucket. Data, test, data, data, source, bucket. Okay, na? Create it. Okay. VPC ID, it's already there automatically. Let us go and write. So let's remove main.tf. Okay. vi main.tf. Let's go and write provider AWS region is equal to which one? AP South -1. Okay. So here I need to write what block now? Data block. What block? Data block. And I need to get my VPC or not. So for that, I'm writing here what block here? Data. And what's the resource type? AWS underscore which one? VPC. Which VPC? Default VPC. So here, argument I am providing, which is here, default is equal to true. You understand the data block? Now tell me, I want to launch EC2 instance inside this. Tell me the resource. Resource, AWS underscore instance. Correct. Next here, let's say for example, what I need to write here? AMI, next instance underscore type, which one? T2 micro. Next, we need to give the subnet or not? Subnet underscore ID is equal to, how do I call subnet ID? It's not subnet ID, it is VPC. Okay. Very good. So now we need to call the data first. Data dot which one? AWS underscore VPC dot which one? Default dot ID. Understood? Okay. That is how you launch an EC2 instance here. Okay. Now I want to use the existing bucket. Again, I need to write a data block or not? Okay. What's the resource type here? So we need to write, you need to get the block, no? Dinesh, data dot we need to use here. Okay, now for this data block, AWS underscore S3 underscore bucket. You can give, for example underscore bucket. You can give any name. Okay, here bucket is equal to, what is our bucket name? You can give the bucket name. So I'm using the existing bucket name or not? So now can you give me the output? Output, I want to print the bucket URL. Tell me, bucket ARN. Output, I want to print what? Bucket underscore ARN. So how do you print it? Value is equal to which one? Data dot AWS underscore S3 underscore bucket dot example underscore bucket dot ARN. Very good. Guys, you understood? Data block. Online, no? Online. Super. So let's do Terraform. I always forget that pretty AMI. Yeah. That in the project we did, Dinesh, how to display in browser by a load balancer. Remember, in the project we did it already. Front-end project we did in Terraform, right? That has a load balancer. Okay, so now what I do? Terraform. Then tell me what it does if I do a hmm, what we did inside the main.tf. We are launching the EC2 instance inside the default VPC and we are printing the ARN of bucket. What it says? Okay, invalid subnet ID. Subnet ID not found. So hmm, there is a mistake here. Find out. There is a mistake here. Where? Hmm? No. So there is some problem here only in this line. Data should be there. Okay, you want me to remove the data? Okay, let's move on. Okay, so let's do first Terraform plan. You see that error? Hmm? So we need to have that data there. Hmm. There is clearly it is visible. Clearly it is visible. Yeah, Ranjan remote. Yeah. In this line only there is an issue. Ah, okay, good. I'll do one thing. I'll not be resolving this. I want you to resolve it. Can you resolve this and tell me tomorrow? Huh? Huh? Very small. If you're not able to resolve this, how do you resolve big things? Right? So there is something here. See here. I'm giving which argument here? Subnet ID. But you're pulling which one? VPC ID. Here I'm giving subnet ID and you're pulling here VPC ID. So VPC ID you are passing to the subnet ID. That's why it says not found. So here I need to Provide the subnet ID. How do I provide the subnet ID? Here is the task for you. I given the hint also. Okay, do it. I want you to do that. Now you got online. You got it. You fix it and then tell me tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. I already give you. So instead of here, instead of putting the VPC, you need to put the separate ID there. Simple. But how to put it, I want you to find out. It's easy. You just need to put the syntax. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Okay, Nana. So here the last thing what we have, data source is clear for you. Okay. So this one is the example that I have given for the conditions. Which one here? No, Sunanda, we are using the existing subnet. That is the concept of data block. Sunanda, yes or no? Hmm? Yeah. See here. So I have given you here conditions. Do you see there? Condition is equal to, if it is whichever the region it is, it will go and do this. So just for fun, I have given you. So you can just go ahead and then look at it. Yeah. Okay. So guys, Terraform Cloud is also there, but we'll not be using it all. Right? So everything, so whatever, wherever, whatever we do here, it is in our infrastructure in AWS, we'll do it. But additionally, if you want to use Terraform Cloud is also there. Everything is GUI. So it is used to create resources from what? GUI. So I don't recommend to go to this, but if you are interested, you can create an account, create an organization workspace, and then you can start doing something here. But I don't recommend to do it. So just keep that in mind that it has something called what? Terraform Cloud also. And I just gave a little bit here. Drift, what is here? Drift, say that. So now what is drift here? Drift meaning, let's say you created an infrastructure from Terraform, but someone modified manually on the console. There is a change or not? We use this using Terraform refresh. If you use Terraform refresh, whatever is there on the AWS console, it is coming to the TF state or not? I said it is a dangerous command. So generally should not be using like this. So whenever you get the drift, so the change we call it as what? Drift. The difference from your actual state and desired state, what we call that is called a drift. So from your AWS console and your TF Terraform state file, there is a difference, right? Because you manually modified the console. So that concept we call it as here drift. So how to resolve this drift? Do you see? Run Terraform apply again. Yes or no? If you run Terraform apply, what will happen? Whatever there is in your state file, that will go and apply again. Yes or no? Simply what you do, if you see the drift, just go and do the Terraform apply. Otherwise, manually adjust Terraform code. If you don't want to, if you want to keep the AWS console related things, so whatever is there in AWS console, in the code also in main.tf, you need to write that code. That's another way. Another way is use the Terraform import. So if they have launched new machines or new things, there is a difference or not? So if you want to import that new resource, use Terraform import. Or if you want to use bulkly, then Terraformer. Terraformer. Remember Terraformer. And then let's say, for example, if you have only one resource that you want to remove, can you taint it or not? Remember we discussed on the taint also. So these are all the options that you have, but you can use in order not to do that, you can go preventing, how to prevent the drift. So use Terraform Cloud. We will not be using, but or remote state locking, and uses the best practices do it. But if at all, just you see the drift, go and do the Terraform apply, or else you go and import it. Okay. Uh, there is no practice on this. We call it as Terraform Vault. What is that Terraform? So Vault is to securely store and manage the sensitive information like your password, secrets, and all API keys. So just keep that in mind. No need to do that. So rest today's topic, main topics. Is this clear for you? So today we started with what here? Provisioners. Today we started with what? Provisioners. And then in provisioners, how many types are there? 3 types. What are those? Local exe, remote exe, and then file provisioners. And then we learned about the examples of each and everything. And also we learned about which one? Dynamic block also we have learned. Yeah. Terraform map, we already learned this. Data source also we have learned. Data source also we have learned. Conditions, what's that here? Conditions. There is nothing, but just keep that in mind, Terraform Cloud and Vault. Okay, clear? Online? Online or clear? And I have given one small task to resolve that issue. Okay, so check that code, Dinesh, you will get it. Purposely, I have given that conditions just to put your brain in mixer. So I want you to understand what is that concept. Okay. So by this, we have successfully completed Terraform. Yeah. Claps. Yeah. Okay. Online. Only Sumalika clapped. Finally, Abhishek. Yeah. Okay. So from tomorrow onwards, you will be seeing what? Projects. The leftover. We have done. So in real time, first we use Terraform and then go to Ansible. Yeah. Because infrastructure is created by Terraform, right? So your previous, 530 batch, I need to start meta arguments for them. What I need to start? Meta arguments. So from meta arguments, how many days we took? Anyone can check and tell. So, 2 days, I think, right? So after the meta arguments, we have providers concept we learned yesterday. Meta arguments we did one whole day. Entire class. Next day, yesterday we did the provision. I think 2 days. 2 days. 3 days, right? Today. So 3 days class. So I have two options now. One is, so 3 days not required because if I hold your thing for them 2 hours. I can push it, no problem. Um, so 2 days is enough, right? 2 days is enough. So meanwhile, what I do is I'll upload all your interview questions and whatever it is today, resumes and everything, whatever it has. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm giving you whatever I have. It's not well formatted. I have so many here, there. I got all the questions. So whichever will be helpful for you, just take it, put it aside, and then you maintain it. So in each and every topic, I got those. And these 2 days, you go through those uh, interview questions and whatever, or you do the more practice. After 2 days, then what I do on the Friday, probably you need to come at 5:30. Okay. So on 5:30, if you come at 5:30, uh, so total 52 sessions done, na? 52. Okay, nice. 52 plus still so many days left. Okay, so if you come on Friday at 5:30, so we'll be doing a big project, 3-tier project, CI/CD, 3-tier project, CI/CD in AWS, not with Jenkins. In AWS, we have something called code pipeline, code build, code deploy. So we'll use that project. We'll be doing that project on Friday. And next on Saturday, we'll be doing anyways, on Saturday, you can come in the morning because both they can come together. And then on the Saturday also, we'll be doing one project, which can be possibly ECS, ECR project. We'll do it. And then Monday, we'll do some Netflix project or whichever the projects, and probably we need 3 more days here. Okay, so that is the map. So 2 days, no class for you. 2 days will help you to do entire revision. Take it very seriously. 2 days don't. 2 days, sir. 2 days will enjoy, sir. No, right? So Kalyani, it will not refresh. That's it. It will apply it, but it will not refresh if you say Frosh. But if you do Terraform refresh, it will bring all the actual state to your Terraform state file. That's a difference. Your next class will be on Friday at 5:30 p.m. Okay, now I'll tell you the problem. The problem is if I don't mind to call you tomorrow and start the project, but that project cannot be finished in 1.5 hours. If it is finished, okay, but definitely it'll take little bit time because we need to go slowly and try explaining and do all these things one by one, right? Set up all the machines one by one things, right? So for them also, for you, if I start at 7:30, 100% will go till 9:30 for sure, right? And then anyways, for them, if I start the project is 5:30, so till 7:30 it will not complete. You need to be waiting. You'll be waiting. So for that reason, so that is the purpose of holding you. So anyways, you both are in the same pace, right? Just 2 days hold on, and then we'll do the projects together. You do the practice, okay? And online people, I'll just inform the management to which link that you should be joining it. So probably you need to link will change because you need to join to the 5:30, right? So you need to join to the 5:30, but please watch Google Classroom. There we will update. When is the next class? Is mostly on Friday. Sir, any kind of updates, please check it in the Google Classroom. Okay, na? Is this fine with everyone? And no, sir, we want our own class. Yes, but if you are you ready to spend more time with me, I'm okay with it. Is it okay for everyone? I need everyone. Sorry, I need everyone responses. It's okay now? It's good for you only. Okay, fantastic. And we will get more into the question on which topics. Um, Docker, Ansible, Kubernetes, all, all. So, did you guys completed the feedbacks? Hmm. Did you guys completed the feedback? You know, right? For your batch, how much efforts that we are putting. Hmm? So other batch also started writing it. So I don't see your batch only except 4 or 5 people. No one has put the feedbacks. So I'll not be asking this again. It is up to you. This is not first time. This is second time for you. Um, I don't have anything to say. Just go ahead and then put it. That's what I can say. Please do it. Okay. All right. So